The case of Cindy Singh is one that has left Texas and the entire nation in shock. At the heart of it is the mysterious disappearance of 6-year-old Noel Rodriguez Alvarez, a little boy whose story captured headlines and fueled a desperate search for answers. What started as a missing child alert quickly spiraled into an international manhunt, courtroom drama, and a chilling tale of betrayal, family secrets, and a mother accused of the unthinkable. From the moment investigators uncovered inconsistencies in Singh's story, suspicions grew. When she suddenly fled the country, vanishing overseas, the world watched as law enforcement agencies scrambled to bring her back. The extradition, the courtroom confrontations, and the haunting question, what really happened to Noel, have kept this case alive long after most stories fade from the headlines. In this video, we're breaking down everything: the timeline, the evidence, the shocking twists, and where the case stands today. But before we dive deep into the chilling details of Cindy Singh's trial and Noel's tragic story, make sure you like this video, drop a comment with your thoughts, and subscribe so you never miss an update on true crime cases that demand justice. Who is Cindy Rodriguez Singh? Born January 30, 1985, in Dallas, Texas. She's a Hispanic American, around 5'1" to 5'3", weighing 120 to 140 pounds, with noticeable tattoos on her arms, legs, back, and hands. She has used aliases such as Cecilia Rodriguez and Cindy C. Rodriguez. The missing boy. Her 6-year-old son, Noel Rodriguez Alvarez, had multiple health challenges including esotropia and chronic lung disease that required treatment. He was last seen in October 2022 and presumed dead after disappearing. Authorities say Singh referred to her son as evil or possessed, allegedly deprived him of water and food to avoid diaper changes, and at one point claimed to have sold him. Disappearance and Deception. On March 20, 2023, officials conducted a welfare check. Singh falsely claimed that Noel was living in Mexico with his biological father. 2 days later, on March 22, she fled to India on a one-way flight with her husband Arshdeep Singh and 6 other children. Noel was not on the flight. Passport applications had been filed for her other children in November 2022, but notably not for Noel. Charges and the FBI's pursuit. On October 31, 2023, she was indicted in Tarrant County for capital murder, injury to a child, and abandoning a child without intent to return. A federal warrant for unlawful flight to avoid prosecution followed in early November 2023. On July 1, 2025, she was added to the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives list, the first mother ever to receive that designation for allegedly killing her own child. The FBI offered a $25,000 reward for information, later raised to $250,000 arrest in India. On August 20, 2025, the FBI announced her arrest in India. It was coordinated with Interpol and Indian authorities. FBI Director Kash Patel called it the fourth capture of a 10 most wanted fugitive in just 7 months, praising the international collaboration that made it possible. What happens now? She has been extradited to Texas and will face capital murder charges. The family and law enforcement seek justice for Noel, though, as Everman's police chief cautioned, the arrest marks only the midpoint of a very complex journey toward closure. What questions are still burning for you? Could there be more mystery surrounding Noel's fate, the exact conditions at the family home, or Singh's motives? I'll dive deeper into the investigation, those haunting witness accounts, and what lies ahead for both legal proceedings and the search for truth. The darker truths behind Cindy Singh. When Cindy Rodriguez Singh vanished with her family in March 2023, investigators were left with more questions than answers. What happened in the months leading up to Noel's disappearance revealed an even darker reality. The witness accounts. Relatives and witnesses told investigators chilling details. Cindy allegedly believed Noel was possessed by a demon. She was said to punish him in cruel ways, denying him food and water because she didn't want to change his diapers, and at times forcing him to live in deplorable conditions. One family member claimed Cindy once hit Noel with her car keys, leaving a mark on his face. The false trails. Cindy repeatedly changed her story when asked about Noel's whereabouts. At first, she claimed he was living with his biological father in Mexico. Then she told others he had been sold to someone at a grocery store. To some, she even suggested immigration authorities had taken him. Each lie sent investigators chasing false leads, while Cindy moved quietly to secure passports for her other children. The home investigation. When detectives searched the family's home in Everman, Texas, they made a grim discovery. Toys, clothes, and shoes belonging to Noel were still inside, but no trace of the little boy himself. Cadaver dogs alerted to possible human remains in the backyard, but digging yielded no body. To this day, Noel's remains have never been recovered. The flight to India. 2 days after police knocked on her door, Cindy and her husband Arshdeep Singh boarded a flight to India with her 6 other children. Noel's name was conspicuously absent from every travel record. The timing was no coincidence. Prosecutors later argued that she had been preparing her escape for months. The indictment and international hunt. By October 2023, Texas authorities indicted Cindy for capital murder, injury to a child, and abandoning a child. The FBI joined the case, securing a federal arrest warrant for unlawful flight. What followed was an international manhunt that lasted more than 2 years, involving Interpol, Indian intelligence, and U.S. agents working over. Backhand index pointing right, but here's where the story twists even further. Some investigators believe Cindy didn't act alone. Questions have emerged about the role of her husband, Arshdeep Singh, and whether others in her family knew more than they admitted. And just when authorities thought they had the full picture, something uncovered in India changed the trajectory of the case completely. The capture in India. After more than 2 years on the run, Cindy Rodriguez Singh had become a ghost, living under the radar in a foreign country, constantly looking over her shoulder. But while she thought she had escaped justice, investigators were already closing in. The hunt across borders. Cindy and her husband Arshdeep Singh fled to Punjab, India, in March 2023. For months, they moved between family properties and rural towns, blending into local communities where outsiders rarely asked questions. According to Indian authorities, Cindy disguised herself by using her husband's extended family networks, often traveling under assumed names and avoiding digital footprints. But the FBI was patient. By 2025, they had launched a global campaign, adding Cindy to the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives list, with a reward skyrocketing from $25,000 to $250,000. It sent a clear message: the U.S. was not going to stop until she was caught. The breakthrough lead. Investigators say a critical tip came from India itself. Locals noticed an American woman with heavily tattooed arms, living quietly in a village and rarely going outside. The description matched Cindy perfectly. With help from Interpol and the Central Bureau of Investigation, CBI, in India, surveillance was set up. The arrest. On August 20, 2025, Indian police, backed by FBI agents, raided the Singh family's safe house. Cindy was taken into custody without a fight, though sources say she was visibly stunned, having believed she was safe in India. Her husband Arshdeep and children were also questioned, though Indian officials have not disclosed the full details of their status. The FBI quickly confirmed her capture, marking her as the 4th fugitive on the 10 most wanted list, captured in just 7 months. For the Bureau, this was not just a victory, it was proof of unprecedented international cooperation. The extradition. Within days, Cindy was flown back to Texas under tight security. She now faces capital murder charges in Tarrant County, where prosecutors are expected to pursue the death penalty. Everman Police Chief Craig Spencer said her arrest is the midpoint of this story, not the end, reminding the public that Noel's body is still missing. Backhand index pointing right, but here's where the case takes another shocking turn. Rumors have begun to swirl about what Cindy may have confessed or hinted at while in Indian custody. Did she finally reveal what happened to Noel? Did someone help cover up his fate? The confessions and the missing body. Cindy Rodriguez Singh's arrest in India brought relief to law enforcement and to Noel's grieving relatives, but it also cracked open a new set of mysteries. What she said during interrogation and what she didn't say has only deepened the case. The first words in custody. According to Indian sources, Cindy was calm when taken into custody. But during questioning, she reportedly gave conflicting statements, much like she had in Texas before fleeing. At one point, she claimed Noel was with God now. Another time, she suggested she gave him to someone who could take care of him. Investigators noted her evasive language and refusal to say where Noel's body might be. The search for Noel's remains. Back in Texas, police had already searched Cindy's Everman home extensively. Cadaver dogs had alerted to possible human decomposition in the backyard, and investigators had dug up sections of the property. They found disturbed soil, traces of human remains too degraded for confirmation, and toys Noel had last been seen playing with. But despite multiple searches, his body has never been found. That absence has become central to the case. Without Noel's remains, prosecutors must rely on circumstantial evidence, testimony, and Cindy's own damning statements to secure a conviction. The confession that wasn't. While some reports hinted that Cindy had made a partial confession in India, U.S. officials have been cautious. Everman's police chief, Craig Spencer, stated publicly, "We may have her in custody, but we don't yet have the truth. And we don't yet have Noel." Family members remain divided. Some believe Noel may have been sold or handed off and could still be alive, while others fear the worst but plead for a proper burial. The husband's shadow. Questions are also growing about Cindy's husband, Arshdeep Singh. Did he know what happened to Noel? Was he involved in the escape plan? While Cindy faces capital murder charges, Arshdeep's role remains murky, with investigators saying only that no one has been ruled out. Underscore 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 underscore. Backhand index pointing right in now, the biggest question of all. What happens when Cindy finally steps into a Texas courtroom? Will the state's evidence be enough without Noel's body? Or will shocking new revelations surface when the trial begins? The trial ahead. With Cindy Rodriguez Singh now back on U.S. soil, the focus has shifted from the international manhunt to the courtroom. This is where the most difficult fight begins, for both prosecutors seeking justice for Noel and for a defense team already preparing to exploit every gap in the case. The charges. Cindy faces capital murder, injury to a child, and abandoning a child without intent to return. In Texas, a capital murder conviction can lead to either life without parole or the death penalty. Prosecutors have not yet formally announced their decision, but sources close to the case suggest they are strongly considering pursuing death. The prosecution's strategy. Prosecutors are expected to lean heavily on Cindy's own words and actions. Her repeated lies about Noel's whereabouts. Witness accounts describing her cruelty and belief that Noel was evil or possessed. Evidence from the family home, including cadaver dog alerts. Her sudden flight to India with her other 6 children, leaving Noel behind. This paints a narrative not just of murder, but of deliberate cover-up and abandonment. The defense's likely moves. Her attorneys are expected to argue 2 main points. 1. No body, no proof. Without Noel's remains, the defense will argue there's no concrete evidence he is dead or that Cindy killed him. 2. Mental health and instability. Cindy's history of erratic statements, paranoia, and alleged delusions about Noel's possession could be used to argue diminished capacity or shift the focus away from premeditation. The public eye. The trial is already being called one of the most closely watched cases in Texas since Andrea Yates and Casey Anthony. Media outlets are preparing for gavel-to-gavel coverage. Community members in Everman continue to hold vigils for Noel, demanding accountability but also aching for closure that only his recovery could provide. The family divide. Inside Cindy's extended family, loyalties remain fractured. Some relatives have distanced themselves entirely, while others, particularly those tied to Arshdeep Singh, have remained quiet, fueling speculation about what they knew. Backhand index pointing right, but here's the chilling part. Court filings suggest prosecutors may have new evidence not yet made public, evidence gathered during Cindy's time in India. The new evidence. By the time Cindy Rodriguez Singh was extradited from India, investigators had spent more than 2 years building a case against her. They knew the trial would be fought tooth and nail, and without Noel's body, they needed something more. Now, whispers from inside the investigation suggest that something has finally emerged. Digital traces. Sources say that during her time in India, Cindy may have slipped up online. Investigators reportedly uncovered encrypted chats and deleted messages from devices seized abroad. Some of those communications allegedly reveal Cindy discussing Noel in disturbing terms even after she fled. If authenticated, these digital breadcrumbs could tie her directly to knowledge of his death. Financial red flags. Court filings also point to suspicious financial activity. Just weeks before her flight to India, Cindy allegedly liquidated accounts and funneled money into relatives' names. Prosecutors believe this may have been part of a plan not only to fund her escape, but also to buy silence from those who might know the truth about Noel. Forensic evidence. Perhaps the most shocking development, investigators are said to be testing trace DNA evidence recovered from the backyard of Cindy's Everman home. While cadaver dogs had alerted to possible decomposition, no remains were found at the time. But new techniques in forensic science may now provide stronger proof that Noel's body was once there. The prosecution's secret weapon? Legal insiders suggest prosecutors have held back these revelations for strategic reasons. By unveiling them at trial, they could deliver a devastating blow to the defense's "no body, no crime" argument. The emotional weight. Meanwhile, the community of Everman continues to hold vigils. For them, the new evidence isn't just about legal strategy, it's about finally proving what they've feared all along. Noel's mother didn't just fail him. She may have silenced him forever. Backhand index pointing right, but here's the cliffhanger. Some investigators believe the case doesn't end with Cindy. There are growing suspicions that others in her circle, including her husband, may have played a larger role than anyone has admitted. The wider conspiracy. When Cindy Rodriguez Singh was first indicted, the spotlight was fixed solely on her. But as investigators pieced together the timeline of Noel's disappearance and her flight to India, cracks began to appear, cracks that suggest this case may not be the work of just one person. The husband's silence. Arshdeep Singh, Cindy's husband, left Texas with her and the other 6 children just 2 days after the police welfare check in March 2023. On every passenger record, Noel's name was missing. Did Arshdeep really not notice that one of the children wasn't there? Or was he actively helping to conceal the truth? Authorities in Texas have not charged him yet. But multiple investigators have hinted that his role is under review. Some believe he may have helped orchestrate the escape, if not more. The extended family. Both in Texas and in India, Cindy and Arshdeep relied heavily on extended family networks. Relatives provided shelter, transportation, and, in India, safe houses where Cindy avoided detection for over 2 years. While family loyalty is one explanation, some investigators believe certain relatives knew exactly what had happened to Noel and chose to protect Cindy anyway. The false narratives. Remember Cindy's shifting stories? She claimed Noel was living with his father in Mexico, taken by immigration authorities, given or sold to someone at a grocery store. What's striking is that some of Cindy's relatives repeated these lies as if they were truth. Were they misled, or were they part of keeping investigators off the trail? The quiet FBI question. Behind closed doors, Everman police and the FBI have raised one haunting possibility: Cindy might not have acted alone in Noel's death or disappearance. If so, it means there are still people walking free today who hold the key to finding Noel's remains. Expanding the case. With Cindy Rodriguez Singh back in Texas and awaiting trial, the case has reached a crossroads. For prosecutors, the evidence already paints a harrowing picture of abuse, lies, and a desperate escape across continents. But behind the courtroom drama lies an even bigger question: was Cindy acting alone, or was this part of a deeper family cover-up? The potential for new charges. Legal experts say prosecutors could pursue charges against others if evidence surfaces of conspiracy, aiding and abetting, or obstruction of justice. Arshdeep Singh, her husband, remains under scrutiny for helping her flee with the other children while Noel was left behind. Relatives in both Texas and India could also be investigated if they knowingly harbored Cindy or helped her conceal the truth. Why this case could set a precedent. Noel's body has never been found, a reality that makes this trial rare and complicated. If prosecutors secure a capital murder conviction without physical remains, it could reshape how Texas and other states approach no-body cases in the future. The combination of digital evidence, witness testimony, and forensic science may be enough to prove guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. The human cost. At the center of all of this is a 6-year-old boy who never had the chance to grow up. Vigils for Noel continue in Everman, with the community demanding not only justice but also closure. For many, closure can only come when Noel's body is found, and his short life is honored with a proper burial. Backhand index pointing right for now, Cindy Singh sits in a Texas jail cell, awaiting the trial of her life. But this story is far from over. With whispers of family conspiracy, hidden evidence, and unanswered questions about Noel's final moments, the case may yet unravel in ways no one expects. Magnifying glass tilted right until the next update, one truth remains: justice for Noel Rodriguez Alvarez is still unfinished. Backhand index pointing right, and here's the twist: prosecutors may already be preparing to expand the case beyond Cindy. If they can prove conspiracy, the trial could drag more family members, and maybe even Arshdeep, into the courtroom.